Hi everyone, and very good morning to all of you. I really am very happy to see today that I have Dr. Prithvi with me. And Prithvi. Before I talk about Prithvi, I have been known him for last around 5 years now. Prithvi has been our second year student, and not to forget, actually has achieved a rank 49 in this year's INI-CET. I first of all congratulate you, Prithvi, for your wonderful performance this year, and I hope that you do the best in your life.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm really overwhelmed and overjoyed at this point of time.
I completely understand your facial expression says so. Rank 49 in INI cities, that's two-digit rank. It really, it tells every one of us how hard you have worked. And because I have known you for last 4 5 years from right now, I have always seen your face in your classes, your enthusiasm to learn things, and more importantly, how studious you are. So before we move forward, I first request you to please introduce yourself, from where have you done MBBS from, and then what exams have you actually appeared for before appearing for this INICET?
Yes, sir. I'm Prithvi Basu Roy. I did my MBBS from KPC Medical College, Jadavpur, Kolkata. I did my internship as an externship from Calcutta National Medical College. And I had appeared for this year's May INI-CET as well as NEET. And I had got 1.1K rank in INI-CET and 3.1K in the NEET. And I did not take up the seat and decided to give it another go at INI-CET again. So that's all I have to say.
Prithvi, so you have achieved a rank of 1.1 in INICET, and a NEET rank was around 2000, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, may I please let us know first of all that how was it possible for not to pick up a seat this year, because you might be very much tempted, right?
Yes, sir. Everyone, all the seniors and everyone was saying that you could get your choice of stream and you can get into good colleges with that rank. But then again, I just wanted to. It has always been my dream of getting into AIMS, and AIMS had always been a very important factor, and I wanted to give it another go because I thought that एक honest attempt देना चाहिए, because that time I was preparing during internship. It was very hectic, so as much as I could, I studied, and I thought that I could do better. A honest attempt I wanted to give, and that is why I reappeared for the exam. I just had to bring the faith in myself that I could do it one more time, like
But
revise the entire
that
thing.
really requires a lot of courage, and I must congratulate you all, congratulate you, Prithvi, because that courage has given you a rank that you always deserved, you always wanted, and your family can ever be proud of. That is one rank
Yeah.
that you now has completely overshadowed all of your previous thought process. Because I remember I can see your message last time that you messaged me, ki, sir, I have got this rank in AIMS. Now you asking me, sir, should I pick up this seat in AIMS and prepare? I said, I just told you, no, don't do that. I can see that. No.
Yes.
And you had no question. You said, okay, sir. So that is what the faith we have. Because, for who are watching this video, so Prithvi also got a rank last year in IICT. And I was so sure about him getting such a good rank that when he asked, sir, should I join something and prepare there itself in Delhi because I'll get a nick of Delhi? I said,
Yes.
no, no, no,
Yes.
no,
Yes. I
don't do that.
asked you that.
Don't do that. I think that is one thing, because Prithvi, we all have had faith on you from last 4 5 years. We have been knowing you so well. So let's come to a preparation strategy right now, Prithvi. Let's talk about, from the NICT point of view or the NEET point of view, which subjects do you feel are very, very important?
For INI-CET, I feel the first and second year subjects are extremely important. Like they have a huge weightage, like even 30 to 40% of the questions will come from first and second year itself. And those actually are a very direct questions, or even tricky answers are there. But it is heavily vested on those first 2 year subjects. But NEET almost gives equal importance to all subjects. As I say, I've been saying to all my juniors as well as friends that INI-CET requires in-depth understanding of the topics which they ask every year, in-depth like total depth may, but NEET it's a broader striking area, so you have to know till moderate depth of a lot of topics. But INI-CET, whatever previous year topics are, those topics ka full everything in and out, even beyond, if you want to say, you should be knowing. because they can ask you anything and give you bizarre options to confuse you. But if you know the topic through and through, then you'll be able to attempt those difficult questions also. And while preparing for INI-CET, I feel that there should be it should be very strategic rather than doing multiple times the same notes. You can be revising, yes, 2 times at least you have to, but after that, don't keep on revising the same notes. I should say you should make your high yield notes yourself. Like for every subject, I had made mini notes. Like for every 19 subjects, the big notes was like 500, 600 pages, but I had compiled them into like 60, 70 pages wala notes. And for every subject, the high yield key information was repeatedly tested in the exam. So those I had studied. Even whatever wrong I used to get in GT, I used to jot it down over there. Any pearl, any treasure, any high yield points, last LMRPs, last moment revision points, everything I used to, wherever from I used to get, I used to jot it down and used to keep it at hand. And I used to revise it again and again. Revising GTs and analyzing GTs is much more important than revising the notes again and again, because notes will only give you familiarity, whereas revising GTs will actually, get you off that plateau phase, and you will get through it. Anyone can be at any phase of preparation. Maybe they might be in first year, second year. They should always aim of studying exam oriented rather than studying aimlessly. Everything you should be very exam oriented. Then only you'll be able to get all the things together by the time you're in internship. Because in internship, if you start studying extensively, then it is not possible to complete everything. So if you start early and gather all the information in one place and make something of your own, like I had made my notes for every 19 subjects, I think that really helps.
Okay, Prithvi, because you have been stressing so much on grand tests, may I please know that how do you review a grand test? What was your way of reviewing a grand test? Because what students tell me, sir, when we are getting a grand test, suppose we're getting 100 correct and 100 wrong. So it takes an entire 2 days to review a grand test. Now, please let us know, how did you yourself review a grand test?
Yes, sir. Sir, I had started giving grand tests not very regularly during final year itself. So I used to give the subject tests and grand tests, but not very regularly, all the grand tests. But I had started giving grand tests regularly from internship. Even though internship was hectic and time could not be found, I used to review the GTs while I had my night duties, or when I had duties in the ICU. I used to keep reviewing the GTs. When I did not have time towards the end, I used to review only the mistakes and the ones which I had flagged, so that I could actually, the ones which I had guessed or had made an educational guess. So that educated guess, that one I used to review, as well as the mistakes. Uska sub explanation I used to read, and then I used to think that why I had got it wrong. Sometimes it would just be silly mistake, and sometimes it would be that maybe I had a conceptual error, or maybe I have to think in this particular way, or in this situation this happens. So I used to get back to my resource and read it once again. So that work you have to put into this GT. So GT reviewing, I think, is the biggest and the most important thing in the preparation towards the end. Like in the final phase of your preparation, GTs are everything. Like the more you revise GTs and the better you analyze them. Like after every GT, they give you how much percentile or how much you have scored in every GT. So that helps you assessing that which subjects are weak, and you can work on them, and you can even topic wise also you can figure it out and work on them and improve your rank.
True. So Prithvi, since you were with us with the second year course, and I remember that we had done the entire pathology in a classes. How
Yes.
did those classes help you in your preparation? Because I initially remember that
Exactly,
you
sir.
coming up us to us and asking me, sir, aims kaisa hota hai, sir, how it is like that.
I always used to have like games milna is so hard and all that. So I was always used to think that how people used to get and how much they should have studied and all that. But yes, sir, your classes are extremely helpful. Your Ashwini sir classes, Dr. Thamim's classes, their notes which I had, I kept using it and till the very end. And even though I had done it my second year, third year, those same, because information at the core doesn't change. Updates might be there, at the core information doesn't change. So I used to review that, because instead of making notes from multiple sources, sticking to a very good source is very important. So your pathology notes were brilliant, sir. I still have the 2 copies, and I keep revising for every exam.
Acha,
Yes,
Prithvi,
sir.
because I cannot forget you from those classes sitting on the right side, and I also remember your green T-shirt. And I think you still have that, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For
You're
every
so.
class.
Acha. So Prithvi, let's come back to your preparation again. Prithvi, because you have been very studious, please let us know how many gold medals and honors you got in your MBBS career.
Sir, five and 10 honors I had got, 10 distinction marks I had
That
got
tells
out
you
of 14 subjects.
how professional
Uh,
exams are in your pre-G preparation. They're not different. If you're a second year student, please start preparing from second year only, because the more you waste your time, it will be very difficult for later on to catch up. But let's assume that you have now passed a phase and you are now internship and you are into post internship. So let's briefly tell us. I have two questions with me. Dr. K asking, sir, do we have any special strategy for first and second year subjects? Because they feel that they make the bulk of the paper and may also be make a bulk
yes.
of paper in 2023 NEET also. Um, Second question asking you is from Kartikeya asking you, sir, how would he revise after completing making his notes, and how many revisions did he did before the main exam? So please, Prithvi.
So before the May INI-CET, which was during my internship, I had somehow squeezed to do two revisions. One was the first one, which I was doing and which were taken a lot of time. So, and the second one was just like it happened in 1.5 months. I had completed it. So two revisions I had done, and before this INI-CET, I did another revision. So only one before this November one. So I did only one revision because it's like first two times when the more number of times you read the next subsequent revision becomes quicker. So you actually complete it faster. And what was the first question? First and second year subjects. Yes. So first and second year subjects, I used to use first aid, and from second year itself, like I was using that book not because of the preparation for other preparations, but I was using that book because it has everything in a concise manner, in a consolidated manner over there. And I used to add all the information from the classes into the first aid. So that actually helped a lot. And I used to keep revising them. And even for every exam, it was so quick, like those 500, 600 pages, and it's full crammed into information, first and second year subjects. You just get through it. Quick revision is very much possible, and all questions I can just say, if for NEET ke liye, to all questions will come directly if you from any source you read. And I think if you use first aid also and incorporate your notes into first aid, it will be very helpful. For INI-CET, first aid will definitely help you for first and second year topics. 80 to 85% will be common. 15% is difficult because there are some questions which are not meant to be answered, and those are 5-6% questions, and the rest 10% I'm saying because those will have very twisted and bizarre options. That will come with practice of solving questions. That last 10-15% comes with practicing questions and the art of solving MCQs, and that really helps. That more you practice and earlier you start practicing, you will get that how to think and how to rule out options. That gut feeling is just simply not a gut feeling. It's basically your mind telling you that you have read this somewhere and associating it with it, and it really helps that okay, this cannot be, because there are only three wrong answers and one right answer. So three wrong answers identification is very important. And whenever you have to choose between two options where you are 50-50, just you should attempt it. You should attempt it. Sometimes it feels that you're just making a blind guess, but if you, because at such a high stake exam like INI-CET, you have to attempt more, and attempting more, at least you have to attempt 190 plus, I feel. And if you attempt that much, you have to make at least some educated guesses, and otherwise you won't get through the rank. I feel this is how should everyone should attempt or approach the exams and first and second year subjects.
Okay, Prithvi. So about the image-based questions, how did you approach them?
The image-based questions, I actually, you had for pathology, you had shared with us so many PDFs of images, and that helped for pathology. For every subject, I had a PDF file which is compiled of all images, and that was wonderful. I used to go through it before exam once. That okay, because so many image-based question comes, so I used to go through it, because NEET will just ask you this is the image and identify, but AIMS might give you a history or something along with it. So identifying is the first step, right? So identification, you should be very thorough with the images. So I used to do that from there, from the compiled PDFs.
Prithvi, I have one more question. Sir, during your revision strategies, suppose let's assume that you're revising ENT or you're revising OPTHA. So what would you actually revise from that subject, that subject, the entire subject as such, or a weak
Yes.
subject? Which point? What?
Okay. So ophthalmology, sir, is very. It was not one of my strong suits. So I always used to fear ophthalmology. But I had figured out a trick. Like, okay, if anything correct hogi, ophthalmology makes a plus point for me. I used to feel like that. कि, okay, kuch bhi correct hogi is a plus point. So basically, I used to study ophthalmology. I had my notes from the classes, and after that, I used to revise the notes was there. But apart from that, from the question bank and from the questions I used to solve, whichever topics I felt were previous year's topics and repeat topics, I used to focus on those more. The previous year topics, the image-based questions, and even Bhatia puts out great MCQ discussion videos and everything they put out. So I used to all see all of that, and everything helps. Like it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village and everything to actually consolidate and make your preparation strong. I feel that I used to do it from that ophthalmology, because I cannot say like I did from this place and it was amazing, because ophthalmology was a very weak subject. So kahin se bhi I used to find information, and I used to like, okay, like this helps, and that I based my opthal preparation more on MCQs and discussion videos rather than previous year topics, rather than reading a lot of notes of optha. And for
No,
ENT,
so my
yes.
question was, a very basic one. Like if I generalize for every subject, like for whenever you pick a subject like microbiology or say surgery, any subject as such, so what would you
Hmm.
revise first? The high yielding points or
Okay.
the
So yes,
that
yeah.
one? Yeah.
So when I was reading for the first time, I used to revise everything. First
Yeah.
division, you have to read everything.
Right.
From second division onwards, I used to only do the topics which I found difficult. So I put a that highlighted bookmarks on it. So page they use lighters are there. So that I used to put,
Mm.
and that would help me that okay, this topic is difficult. So I used to revise this one again and again. Like
Mm.
even in micro, sometimes I used to get confused between protozoa and all. In patho, I used to
Mm.
get confused between CD markers. So
Mm.
I always knew I always have to see CD markers one. I always have to
Mm.
see interleukins and general patho ones, because general patho is
Mm.
highly tested on INI-CET. So
Mm.
I have to. So I had selected the topics which I found were high yield, and I personally make a lot of mistakes, because when you give GDs and subject tests, you understand that this particular subject का ये चीज में difficulty है. So that I used to mark over there, and that helped me a lot. वो पहले से I used to do all the time. I used to keep it in the notes that this is the one I should be revising next time, and I should revise that only.
Okay,
And
that's a
if
wonderful strategy.
hmm.
So I think that actually gives us a basic idea that what made you got such a good rank. So you have such a good rank of 2 digit, and it all is based on your second from your preparation from your first, second, third, fourth prof exams, because you have been studying very well throughout the years, and then you have made a base of solving so many MCQs. You have given so many GTs. Then
So
revision was a very solid one for you. You could revise everything only because you had marked those 1 points which you need to before the
yes.
main exam. So was it true for every subject, for gynae ops, for surgery, for pediatrics, everything was like that only?
For final year subjects, it was a bit different, because even marking that would be too much for final year subjects. So for final year subjects, I would for medicine, actually, to be very honest, I had read medicine thoroughly in final year. And during the first initial part of my internship, I did कि medicine पढ़ लेता हूँ, it was khatam. And I did not keep revising everything of medicine, because medicine is not directly tested in the exam. Indirectly, it helps you thinking. So analytical thinking, medicine will help you. But direct questions come aate. I am seeing for the last 2-3 years, I'm seeing that. So basically, I used to mostly focus on gynae and pediatrics, because usme like and surgery, very scoring. So and orthopedics also. These 4 subjects are so scoring, and you have to score a lot. And for that, I used to do the GTs, and mostly the GTs. I used to focus on GTs and the previous year topics. Only that. Not every topic I found difficult, but the previous years and GT topics and the bookmarked things. I used to do that.
Okay.
Whichever ones. Not everything. Like every difficult topic I couldn't revise before the exam. Only the ones in the GTs which I've got wrong or previous year topics.
So maybe one final question about about the previous year questions. I think that is one thing we should also discuss how important they are. And because when
Very.
Shani sir, हमने तो last 5 years PYQs देख रहे हैं, we are taking for last 3 years PYQs, we look at the same question again and again, and I don't think we are improving on that a lot. But how to approach a PYQ, Prithvi?
Everyone thinks that PYQ is just like seeing the questions. It is never that, or just seeing the topics. Okay, इस बार पूछ लिया orthopedic से carpal tunnel syndrome. So next year भी carpal tunnel syndrome they'll ask. No, they'll ask something different. Maybe they'll ask something related to anesthesia. Maybe they'll ask something related to surgery or anatomy. So anything they can ask. So basically, when you are approaching a PYQ, just do not approach it as the question it is. Rather than you think of all the dimensions in which the same question can be asked. Like this year also, it's so many times. Like even ALL ka the prognostic markers were asked. Like so many times you said in class, but you say in class is one thing, and PYQs, ALL, or these leukemias are important. Everyone knows. Like learning those, like okay, have a pattern in your mind. Like you should always think all the dimensions where you should be thinking that is angle se पूछ सकता है, उस angle se पूछ सकता है. So that you have to think, and whenever you're approaching a question, try to think of a pattern, like how you should be, because there are only a lot of rote learning things to do in these kind of good and bad prognosis. So you should have a pattern ki, okay, like hyper diploidy hoga to good, home trisomy hoga to bad, so isme hyper is good, trisomy is bad. Like you have to make certain patterns for yourself so that you can identify ki kaun sa hai, because so much information, if you just mug it up and if every morning you read that also won't, in the exam you might not recall it. But if you make a pattern out of it, of every difficult topic, I think you will sail through the exam. Anyone would.
True.
I used to do that.
True. So I think we have well summarized your preparation strategies, and let me just again revise इतना बार बोल चुका हूँ क्लास में कि वही आता है दिमाग में. But let's just summarize what Prithvi has been doing. So Prithvi has been a studious student throughout his MBBS career, getting around 5 gold medals and 9 honors is too big achievement. And I think that this will really stay with him just against his name. After that, when he got a rank in last year's NEET, there was a big dilemma in his mind whether he would pick a seat or not. And I think that he could tell others that he actually made a right decision at that time. At
that point of time, I had second guessed myself, but okay, now I feel maybe it was worth it.
It was very well worth it. Very well worth it. Doing the MD, MS from a certain institute like AIMS or PJ, that really means a lot to your own family members, to your society as such. And I'm very sure that you will be able to, do what you have always in your mind. You serve the humanity in the same way. You also make laurels to your family, yourself. And we're very, I know, because I know you from your secondary days. I know that.
Yes, so you helped in the practicals also. You were so helping, like you even in the practicals before prof exams, like you were used to focus on standard textbooks. And for you, I read Robbins, like everything. Like you said, you read Robbins. Since you're in second year, you have the opportunity to read Robbins. Like I used to read standard textbooks. Like you brought it in us all the time. You used to say in the class, read standard textbooks from now, because like it really helps.
True.
Somehow, somewhere it helps.
It really helps. Obviously, those books are really very important, and it makes a base for you to understand the entire MBBS curriculum as such. Prithvi, so what have you thought of taking into your any branch that you have in mind?
Yes, sir. Pedia, so medicine, radiology, and pediatrics in that order. I would
medicine,
say.
Radiology, and pediatrics. I'm very sure with your rank you can get in many good institutes, especially in AIMS Delhi. I'm very sure you will be able to get these, and I hope that you actually get it. Whatever you get, whatever subject you take, that will be the spunk of that time. But I know that whatever you take, you will really do very well in your specialization and make a good name for yourself as such. Any final thanks to anyone you want to, Prithvi? So I think Prithvi's video has just frozen. But I'm very sure that you might have all understood that how we can actually make our preparation days, and so. From that. So Prithvi, I was just asking you one last question. One last question was there. So, would you like to thank anyone before we conclude the session?
Yes, sir. Like, firstly, my parents, like my mom and my dad. Like, my dad has always made me make the decisions. Always, like, he left it to me. And my mom is like her intuition of making me give, like, okay, go out, INI-CET de do. Like, you might do it. Like, she had a lot of trust in me. Having a family member be so invested in your preparation and supportive is a huge plus point. my teachers, my professors, my seniors, my friends, and sir, you, you, Thamim sir, Ashwini sir. Oh God, how can I forget? Like no one's better in anatomy than Ashwini sir. Ashwini sir is like God level anatomy. So like everything, his notes, his everything, his images. Wow, just like it helps so much. He makes anatomy come to life. Like before exam, it's so stressful to revise anatomy, but for him it was so easy. He made it so easy for us. And even Dr. Bhatia himself, like when he used to take the classes, like he was very encouraging. So sir, I just want to thank all of you in that way.
Thank you, Prithvi, for your wonderful time, and thanks for guiding all of our students into what they can do to achieve a very good rank. I wish you all the best. Take care. God bless you and stay healthy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Bye.